In this video, I'm going to review area and perimeter of rectangles. The only difference is that instead of working with whole numbers or fractions, we're going to be working with decimal numbers. Okay, so let's look at perimeter first. Perimeter of a rectangle means that we're going to take the sum of the four sides that make the rectangle. With rectangles, we know that the top and bottom sides are going to be the same distance or the same length, and the left and right sides will also be the same length or width. Now, we could find perimeter one of two ways. We can add up all four sides and get our answer, or we can plug in these numbers into the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. And that's going to be P equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Now, if I do that, it's going to look like this. 2 times 8 96 plus 2 times 7 7/10. I need to do a little math on the side to figure out these multiplication problems, and then I can add the products to get my total perimeter. So if I go 8 96 times 2, I get 17 92. If I multiply 7 7/10 times 2, I get 15 4/10. Because I'm adding these two together, I'm going to rewrite it vertically, and I want to make sure that I line up my decimal points. I can, of course, insert a 0 as a placeholder. Now I'm going to add. And I get 33 32 hundredths. 33 32 hundredths centimeters. Remember that perimeter is a one-dimensional form of measurement. We're just measuring the distance around. So we don't need an exponent on this unit of measurement. Now, I could have solved it differently. I could have just added up those sides. Let's see what we get when we do it that way. The key here is when we add them up is to line up the decimal points. I'm going to plug in some zeros as placeholders so that each number goes out to the same place value. When I add them together, 6 plus 6 is 12. I'm going to carry that 1. And 1 plus 7 is 8, plus 9 is 17, plus 7 is going to be 24, plus 9 is 33. Carry the 3. That's going to be 10, plus 8 is 18, plus 7 is 25, plus 8 is 33. Now I want to make sure that I bring down that decimal point in the same location, and notice that I get the same answer as I did previously. So you have two ways to calculate the perimeter of a rectangle. Now let's recall the area formula of a rectangle. That's going to be length times width. Doesn't matter what you call the length or what you call the width. When we're multiplying, those can be interchanged. Remember, commutative property, order doesn't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this, or let me fill it in first. So we've got 8 and 96 hundredths times 7 and 7 tenths. Now I'm going to rewrite it vertically. And don't worry about the placement of the decimal point. It's not necessary to line them up. We're only going to line up the decimal point when we're adding or subtracting decimal numbers. Okay, now let's multiply. 7 times 6 is 42. Carry the 4. 7 times 9 is 63, plus 4 is 7, so 67. 7 times 8 is 56, plus 6 is 62. Now I'm going to look at the 7 in the ones place, and I'm going to go ahead and multiply each again. Because the same number is being multiplied, I'm just going to shift all of these numbers one space to the left, and so we're going to get 2, 7, 2, 6. Now I can add up my products. I'm going to add a 0 as a placeholder and then do the addition. So 2 plus 0 is 2, 7 plus 2 is 9, 2 plus 7 is 9, 6 and 2 is 8, and 6. Now I need to determine where the decimal point goes. I have 2 decimal places here and 1 here. 2 plus 1 means I'm going to move the decimal point from this location 3 spaces to the left. 1, 2, 3. And so my answer is going to be 68 and 992 thousandths centimeters squared. Remember, with area, the unit of measurement is squared. Now on the homework worksheet that I'm going to give you, unfortunately there are no units of measurement. There will just be the numbers. But if you were to come across some unit of measurement, then you would definitely make sure that that's squared.